by focusing on the everyday moments that matter, you create and connect with people emotionally. Because you find an insight about their lives related to our products. What kind of job are they trying to get done? What problems do they have? What are the habits that they use? And why does that particular situation matter? And then we try to transform that into something that can connect with them emotionally. So if you just think about Downy, rinse and refresh, rinse it out. The insight, the everyday insight is clothes sometimes capture and hold on to stink, odor, and that's frustrating. And so every day when you go, ooh, you wash something and it smells bad. Oh, I wish I could get this out. And then we found this product that literally does rinse out all the odor-causing bacteria and other problems that are stuck in your clothes. And then brought it to life with a song, rinse it out every now and then. So you find a cultural song and connect with people. So it's kind of hard to get that song out of your mind when you think about it. And that connects with people emotionally.
So Marc, with the rise of fragmented media landscape, how do you make sure your message reaches the consumers in a meaningful way across all these sort of diverse audiences?
Well, what's really most important to do is just, first of all, identify who are your potential audiences. Good thing about P&G, daily use, household and personal care products, where performance drives brand choice. So it's pretty much everyone. So people who brush their teeth, Crest and Oral-B. People who do laundry, Tide, Downy. People who use paper towels, toilet paper, Downy, Charmin. Very broad audiences. What we do then is we try to make sure that we can reach up to at least 80% of them. And you just build it out to where you can do enough long-form content, or advertising, sorry, not content, advertising, because I prefer advertising versus content. Long-form advertising that can connect and tell the story to build awareness and create the mental memories. And then you use the shorter form work to be able to try to connect and remind people. So it's a pretty straightforward model that allows you to be broadly reaching as many people as possible.
But now you have a lot of tools with AI, with deep analytics that are becoming deeper and more expansive. How do you harness those tools to make your advertising more effective?
Well, let me just give you two examples. First of all, when it comes to using AI, machine learning, those kinds of things, we've been doing that for many, many years. So programmatic media is largely driven by technology and capability like that. And we are a huge user of programmatic media. If we work with the platforms, they're using it to make sure they can serve ads to people at the right time. Most importantly, we like to use those kinds of capabilities to ensure that we reach as many people as possible and then cap the frequency so we don't reach them too often, because that is waste. When it comes to then how advertising, that component, we have this tool called AI Studios, which takes the decades of advertising testing that we've done, has put it into a database to allow us to be able to create ads and then test versus that database of reactions to predict how good and effective that ad is going to be. It's remarkable because it allows us now to test ads in hours for thousands versus what used to be weeks and 30,000 to test one ad. So we can iterate far more quickly as a result of using that. And then of course we're also using generative AI to come up with new concepts and other types of ideas.
Marc, in the last couple of years, we've been covering the retail media networks in a big way. It's very interesting to see what's happening and the opportunities. What are your thoughts about the growth of retail media networks, how you're working with them, the opportunities for brands? Share some of your thoughts.
What I think makes retail media makes sense because retail media is closer to the purchase. So by working with a range of retailers, because there's many of them who are working on retail media, that allows us to be able to do a better job of reaching people converting to sale more quickly. One thing to know about retail media, search is a huge part of retail media, which again makes a lot of sense. When people are aware of a product, they go search. If they can search on a retail platform, they know they're going to be closer to the ability to purchase, and then they can quickly purchase that. So search is a major way in which we have for years, by the way, and now are driving that with multiple retailers. And then now we're increasingly finding ways to build in programmatic capability to be able to retarget people, so we can drive search, so we can drive people to purchase and continue to grow.
And finally, there was a question came up in the Q&A about frequency capping, and I know it's a concern to you, it's a concern to many of your colleagues. What's the state of frequency capping? How do you hope that improves perhaps in the next couple of years?
Well, in today's world, given the capability we have, we're able to cap frequency largely within a platform or a broadcaster. So we can identify how many times we reach somebody, cap the frequency, and by either setting the controls or using our programmatic capability on that. And that's even in broadcast TV, in streaming TV, in online video, and so forth, and then working with our platform partners. The new frontier is cross-media frequency capping, and that's what the work of the ANA has been doing, and our teams have been working with them very closely to create the capability to be able to identify how we can cap frequency across different platforms, including major digital platforms as well as broadcast. That's the next frontier. That is being developed and going into basically a test market for validation. That will be very exciting, because what that allows us to do then is to be able to plan so you can still reach that 80% of people, but do it with less overlap and duplication on frequency. And that's going to be good for growth, because we'll be able to reinvest that savings back into reaching more people.